went to Guatemala for a month and stayed at an orphanage and taught kids math,
That's
and played
awesome.
soccer on the side of an active volcano, and incredible experience. But I saw,
Like how
they
you
would
gonna
talk about
skirt
it.
past the active volcano part? Like, were you at all concerned?
Oh, we're coming back around to the volcano thing. Don't
Okay,
worry.
okay, okay, okay.
Um, there's a lot of gang activity in Guatemala. Guatemala
Hmm.
City is known as one of the most dangerous cities on the planet. Part of that is the gang shit, and then the other part is like the federal government, the municipal police, so like city, and then like there's like another level of law enforcement are always in conflict, and those are their own gangs and run
Mm,
their own extortions and Taliban type stuff on people and on the gangs, which are many. So it's just kind of a mess. Security is like insane. You can't
right.
have it there.
Yeah, I actually
So
have a cousin who went there for a missions trip, and he said outside of certain restaurants, he would see security officers with, rifles and shotguns, just like ready to do work.
and
It's like,
across the street, the security officer from the other faction, yeah, that was the
mhm.
wildest thing to me. I'm sure I have a video of it, but like when I was in Guatemala with Jackie, she hit me up. She's like, I'm going to Guatemala on my way back from Mexico. I'm shooting a wedding. I just have the opportunity. It's like $30 for the flight. I want to go for a week. I know it's very dangerous, and I'm an American person and have never been there. Do you want to come? I'm like, yeah, all right. Cheap flight from Miami. And, I wanted to go to another country with my friend. Um, so we got a Airbnb, nice apartment up in a high tower in like downtown, like a safe downtown area,
Nice.
uh, armed security and all that, and beautiful apartment, lots of amazing pictures from that trip. But we just basically went around every day. We would YOLO, which is how I like to travel. We ate where like the regular Guatemalans ate. We traveled to like stuff that regular Guatemalans would want to do, and then saw some like cool shit. um, but basically we had to be back by like 5 p.m. every night, because once it gets dark, and then the monsters come out at night,
Freaks come
and
out
we're
at
not
night.
from there. I'm clearly not Guatemalan. I'm a foot taller than everybody in that country,
Hmm.
and they have beautiful dark
Guatemalans are
brown
short.
skin.
My God.
Yes, and she's tall, uh, Pakistani descent. Long brown hair, just like different looking than
Clearly not
anybody there.
Guatemalan. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole time I'm with her, she's taking pictures, and I'm just kind of like, I had a backpack with me with whatever GoPro batteries and stuff like that. The whole time I'm there, I'm like trying to get, an improvised weapon, get a knife, get a gun, if I could, whatever. I'm sure I could have got a gun, but not when I was with Jackie. But
Right.
I ended up carrying around like some knife, in my back pocket,
Mm,
and then something else, whatever. But I was just constantly, on the look at, people coming towards us that might look unsavory,
mhm.
just trying to watch the general patterns of stuff. And I saw so much stuff there that was like I don't know what the word is for it, but we have cameras. So then the
Mhm.
cameras will chirp up on your phone, hey, there's somebody over here. They have the same systems, but it's set up different. It's a kid sitting on a roof playing a game, with toys, but he's got a cell phone. And the cell phone, it turns out he's like the lookout. That scene in the beginning of Black Hawk Down where the kid
Yeah.
calls up and then they get to the big boss. It's like that. The kids are the lookouts for the neighborhood. So they're the Nest cameras on your front door. And then, the rapid response police is the gang members who live in that area to protect their block or whatever interests, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I was trying to like draw lines between those different types of security and then like what I have in the States. And it was just kind of interesting, being in that environment, being with somebody who's not from there, and then, spending most of my mental time just looking at like security and how it works there and
Yeah.
stuff. And we went to, it's called, oh fuck, she's gonna fucking swear at me for not remembering. It's a neighborhood. There's a big bridge in the middle of Guatemala City. Underneath,
Mhm.
there's 60,000 people that live in a favela, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
and it's like the worst in the world or something like that. Like it's terrible, bad environment. Everything bad you can imagine happens
That's a
there.
crazy
But
rank to be the worst in the world
literal,
at anything.
yeah, it's a literal bridge that goes over this. So you're like 200 feet above, looking down at this. You can see everything going on.
Wow.
It's fucked. And she wanted to go there, and I wanted to go there as well. But it's not something you can do without more robust.
Right. You
Maybe
need a
if I
little
had the
help.
heater, but ooh, we're gonna get kidnapped if we go there.
Right.
Extorted or something, or
Something.
worse. Yeah, that was just a fun trip, and it just a great time as an adult, and just like enjoying going around and seeing beautiful shit. But then also trying to understand like the security situation between all these different everything, basically just gangs, the police and the actual gangs. It's
Now
pretty cool.
the obvious question would be like, so, you know, what or do you feel like the obvious question would be like, do you feel like your experience and time in the military prepared you for this very casual, dangerous, trip with your friend? But, the answer is yes in some way, but in what way? That's my question. In what way has it prepared you, and what translated well and what was just like not applicable? Because it's not like you guys were, you didn't have backup. There's no two-way radio system.
Yeah. Um, this is something that Scout is like really good at. He can read
Hmm.
people and situations, and he can see things before they happen. Like, and he can tell thousands of stories about this. Um, very sharp senses, but it's something you picked up
Hmm.
on, or I mean, I picked up on during the war. Like, I had never paid so much attention to people,
Hmm.
hands. People always say hands, hey, watch the hands. It'll tell you. I'd never paid so much attention to that until I went to the war, and then I did 800 missions over 11 months, which is more than anybody. I was
It's
constantly on
multiple
mission.
a day.
Yes, insane. I would come back from mission, sleep for like 4 hours, do a foot patrol, come back, resupply, go out, do an OP, sit out there for a couple days, ongoing. Um, I lost my train of thought, but you get used to that pace and the constant high alert, adrenaline
Hmm.
going, and then those super low lows where nothing's going on for hours and hours, and you're just like mind numbing. Why am I here? But just paying attention, even in those moments, having the discipline to just stay awake or to just, I'm going to do one more check. That
Hmm.
high level was something that I've been able to tap into, again after in different situations. So if I haven't deployed to what I would consider like I haven't gone on a combat deployment since then.
Hmm.
Um, but there's certain moments, you'll have in your life, you're out and about where like that triggers and you're like, ooh, something's going on. Like I can feel something going on. And it may be a false alarm, but like it's good to have those instincts and to pay attention to them. I didn't draw my gun and go, but like you have to continue to nurture that or it goes away. You know what I mean? Like a dog that has lived outside in the wild, you can tame it, but then to get it back wild again, it's almost never going to be successful because it's going to get killed by another predator. It doesn't have the same edge.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
that's a number one thing. Like just to be able to look around and read the situation and see things, even at my level, which I don't consider to be very high, that benefited us so much because there was a couple times in Guatemala, maybe one or two, where I was like, okay, we're done here. Let's go, somewhere else. Let's call it Uber.
Right. Like, let's be wise.
Jackie and I, we were staying in Guatemala City, but we wanted to go to uh, Antigua. So it's out in the middle of like three volcanoes,
Hmm.
and we wanted to, it's beautiful. So we wanted
Hmm.
to go out there, walk around, take some pictures, and we did that. But we we had to Uber everywhere, and so we were trying to figure it
Do they
out.
have
Like, are
Uber
we
there, or do
gonna?
they have a different service?
They have Uber. We were able to use Uber, but then we ended up meeting this cool guy who drove us. I think he actually drove us to Antigua. Uh, fuck, his name evades me. I follow him on Instagram. Ismar Velasquez on Instagram.
That's
Look
funny.
at the memory on me. We met him somehow, or like he drove us for Uber, and then he was like, "Hey, take my card. I'm just a driver. Like, if you guys need a ride, whatever."
Hmm.
And he didn't come across as like weird or creepy or anything. He
Right.
wasn't like
It's
the
not like
guys
some
at the
Taken
beginning of
situation.
Taken. He was just like down to earth. Told us
Right.
about his kids. His dog's name is Wawachi. It's a little Chihuahua, and it's a joke. The name is just Chihuahua backwards or whatever. It was
Funny.
just like just a dad.
Yeah,
And so we paid
just
him
a
out the
guy.
ass to drive us everywhere. And
Yeah.
he took, well, a couple times. Then he took us to Antigua. Anyway, I always say, I've taken an Uber to a volcano. Have you? Nobody has. But he took
He
us
said,
there,
"What
dropped us
color is your
off.
Bugatti?"
Yeah, he dropped us off at it's Volcan de Agua or something like that. There's like fire, water, and earth. I think I don't know what they're called, but
That's
in
awesome.
Spanish, um,
What was that like? What did you see?
there's smoke puffing from one of them. It's like
Okay.
active. And I'm like, it's a volcano. Like you guys should not live here.
Doing that. Oh my
And
God.
obviously, like the first time I was in Guatemala, mind blowing. I'd never been to a volcano.
That soil must be so
I'm a kid
rich
from the
though.
Midwest,
Yeah.
and I'm playing soccer with these kids, and I'm looking up, and I'm like, the clouds are rolling over this ridge. I'm in the clouds playing soccer, high above sea level. Above the clouds, when they blow through, is a higher peak, and that's a volcano with smoke puffing from it, and we're directly in the path where it's gonna like gravity, it's gonna
Hmm.
get us. I'm like, hey, you guys live like this? It's right there. They're like, oh man, that shit not going to erupt. I'm like, you don't know, like, you don't know. It's just wild to me,
Yo,
people
no,
living
but
in the
here's the
shadow
thing:
of
a
that kind of
volcano
thing.
just went off in Hawaii. So